there is hope and there is treatment. And there are so many different illnesses and disease processes and conditions that don't have cures. We have ADHD, we have celiac disease, we have type 1 diabetes, but the conversation is different. The conversation is all about living and thriving and treatment. And I think that's where we need to move all of our conversations about tinnitus.
I'm so excited to share this interview with Dr. Melissa Karp. She's a board-certified audiologist with over 25 years of experience. She earned her Master's of Science in Audiology from Vanderbilt and her Doctor of Audiology from University of Florida. Dr. Karp is renowned for her expertise in tinnitus treatment, auditory processing disorder, and hearing loss. She has a compassionate and evidence-based approach. I've gotten to know her personally. She emphasizes restoring control and providing a comprehensive treatment to her patients. And in July 2025, Dr. Karp joined Treble Health. Really excited to welcome you and announce this. Her prior practice is now the first Treble Health clinic in North Carolina, and she's currently the lead tinnitus specialist in Charlotte at Treble Health Charlotte. Dr. Karp, thank you so much for being here. So excited to collaborate with you and help provide care for all patients, tinnitus, auditory processing disorder, hearing loss. My first question for you today is, in your experience training under Dr. Jastroboff, working as a tinnitus specialist for many years, what does every tinnitus patient need to know?
So the thing that I always like to stress is there's this word that gets thrown around, cure. There's no cure. The ENT said there's no cure. Go home, learn to live with it. And there is hope and there is treatment. And there are so many different illnesses and disease processes and conditions that don't have cures. We have ADHD, we have celiac disease, we have type 1 diabetes, but the conversation is different. The conversation is all about living and thriving and treatment. And I think that's where we need to move all of our conversations about tinnitus. Not from there's not a cure to, wow, we have some evidence-based treatments and therapies and work that we can do to help you thrive and manage this.
I love that. Totally agree. So for the average patient that you've helped over the years, let's say they come in with, a bothersome 6 out of 10 loudness, tinnitus. It's affecting their sleep, their quality of life, maybe cause anxiety and stress. What kind of results do you typically see in terms of outcomes?
So that's a really great question, and I kind of think about it as a pyramid. So the first thing we do is we educate our patients. And sometimes just giving them a really good basic education on what is tinnitus, what are they experiencing, why are they experiencing it. Patients deserve to understand what's going on in their heads and why they're feeling the way they are. Sometimes that's all they need. And we spend that time and you just see that relief and they're like, okay, well, great. That's all I needed. And they go. If that's not enough, then we kind of have these other tiers that we can start talking about. We can start talking about, is a device appropriate? Is there hearing loss? Do they need extra help with things like cognitive behavioral therapy techniques or ACT therapy techniques? Or do we need to even think about some other options like bimodal neuromodulation? We have so many different tools at our disposal right now that it's an exciting time to be treating tinnitus because we do have so much to offer. My goal is for patients to leave the office feeling better and, you know, go out and tell their friends.
Wow. Wow. See, and based on the anatomy and how the physiology works between the ear and the brain, what you're sharing here is that better understanding of what this sound is, how it happens, simply that knowledge can provide some relief. That's highlighting that there's the auditory brain, there's the limbic system, the emotional centers, there's the tinnitus sound itself, there's our hearing loss. There's different factors going on here. Um, over the treatment course, do you see tinnitus getting better with your patients? And what does that look like? People want to know, okay, if I get better, does that mean I still have it? Does that mean it's softer? What have you found in your years of treating?
Yeah, so the way I explain it to a lot of my patients is I ask them to think about the way their pants feel on their leg. And probably as we were talking before, you weren't even thinking about your pants. But as soon as I say, I want you to feel your pants on your leg, all of a sudden you're noticing. You're noticing that sensation. You can feel the material. Your brain's like, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, we definitely have our pants on, which is good for most people. And as we continue to talk, that is going to fade to the background because it's not an important feeling. It's neutral. It's not bothersome. That's the goal with tinnitus. So I want my patients to be able to hear their tinnitus, not be bothered by it, and have it fade back to the background. Typically, when we're talking about treatment, what starts first is I'll have patients say, you know what? I read a book the other day, and then I realized I wasn't hearing my tinnitus. And then as soon as I did that and I listened for it, there it was. And those periods of time become longer and longer and less distressing. So eventually you get to that point where your tinnitus is kind of like your pants. It's there, it's not distressing. If you focus on it, you should hear it. But most of the time, you're busy living your life and doing other things.
Yeah, I wanna stress how important that is to recognize that, habituation of the sound is a big part of getting better. Um, you studied with Dr. Jastreboff, correct?
Yes.
How did that influence, your treatment approach over the years? I found that when patients really understand the context here that, "Oh, there's this method, tinnitus retraining therapy," it helps a lot of people get better back to living a normal life. It's been around for 30 years. It was created by Dr. Jastreboff. It's still often used today. People who go down that information path, they are often so impressed that we studied with Dr. Jastreboff himself. So, I'd love to hear some of your experiences with that and how it shaped what you do with patients over the years.
I was really fortunate. I did my master's at Vanderbilt and got introduced to Dr. Jastreboff's work very early on. And I was actually the first audiologist in North or South Carolina to study with him. So, like, fresh out of school, studying with him. And it was really good because it gave me those foundational skills. You studied with Dr. Jastreboff, and it's intense. It's a lot of anatomy. It's a lot of physiology. He has some really important points that even though I have more tools now, which is great, I love having a big toolbox to pick from. He's like, he's the father of all of this. It's being able to go back to his neurophysiological model and talk about what's happening in the brain, why is it happening, and understanding when we use sound therapy, how do we set sound therapy? Because a lot of times I'll see people who have been fit, for example, with sound generators or hearing aids, and they're not helpful, sometimes because they're masking the tinnitus, sometimes because they're not at the right sound level and it's making it worse. So having that knowledge is so important, and that really guided my journey. You know, I do feel like he's done an amazing job as far as figuring out how to use sound therapy, figuring out how to do the directive educational counseling, but adding some more of those softer skills, some of the cognitive behavioral therapy, some of the ACT therapy techniques, and just caveat, I'm only talking about these in terms of tinnitus treatment. I'm an audiologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm using these techniques as an audiologist to treat tinnitus. And I'm definitely relying on my network of psychologists and therapists if patients need that other level of support because it can impact mental health.
Absolutely. So you've touched on some different approaches and, different types of treatments that could help certain patients. Some people come in with tinnitus, no hearing loss. Other people have tinnitus with hearing loss. Other people have already tried everything and they're looking for something that can help them. Any advice for patients listening who are trying to understand which treatment is right for them?
So I think it all goes back to starting with a provider that's going to take the time to get to know you and get to know where you're having the most difficulty. We use a couple of different rating scales to start the conversation. We use one called the THI, the Tinnitus Handicap Inventory, and the TFI, the Tinnitus Functional Index. Those are really important because it looks at different areas of life that tinnitus can impact. And once you understand what those areas are, then you're better able to design a treatment plan that someone's going to work with. And, our initial tinnitus consult with patients, if we're doing a hearing test, we book 90 minutes. That's what it looks like in our office. Patients come in, we've already gotten a lot of information from them. We sit down and I want to hear their tinnitus story. I want to hear what brought them to the office. What have they tried? What are their hopes? What are their goals? And, what does success look like? And then we talk about what are they willing to do to get there? It might be that someone's not willing to use sound therapy. And it might be that someone's not willing to use an app, or they need something that's more web based or something that they can pop in on their lunch hour and virtual. So, figuring out what a patient's willing and able to do and meeting them where they are can be a big relief.
Yeah. Well, there is hope, everyone. There is hope. There are treatments that work for a vast majority of patients. So don't give up if you haven't found relief or treatment yet. Um, Dr. Karp, you mentioned that you have a clinic, and we see behind you, I see the scope. You can look into the ear. I see the hearing test equipment and the booth. Um, what's it like to come into the tinnitus treatment clinic in Charlotte to see you?
So, when you come in, like I said, you've got a 90 minutes of time. We do a comprehensive hearing test. We also do a test called DPOAEs, which for people that aren't familiar with that, sometimes when you do a hearing test and you do the beeps, you get perfect hearing. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a little bit of damage to that part of the ear, the outer hair cells, that can, create tinnitus. So we actually have some tests that maybe not every audiologist may do so that we can be very careful and evaluate your hearing fully and give you the best picture of what's going on in the auditory system. If we end up doing any type of device fitting, we always use real ear verification. We use best practices. Um, as far as what it looks like coming in, it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking, a lot of back and forth, a lot of listening on my part. Yes, I want to educate, but I want to hear what's going on in my patient's life. And I want them to understand what's happening at the level of their ears and what's happening at the level of their brain, because it's all about the brain. We're using the ears to get to the brain, but it's all about the brain.
Wow, I love that. So patients could drive to your clinic in Charlotte and meet with you personally. And also we have a team, right? We have Dr. Ivy on the team. So it's multiple
Yeah.
audiologists and patient care coordinators at the location in Charlotte where patients can go to. So if anyone listening right now would like to come in, you can contact the Treble Health Charlotte location and ask to work with Dr. Melissa Karp, and we'll do our best to make that happen. Um, Dr. Karp, I know that we also have other services that are provided at the clinic. I know you do a lot of work in the local community. Would you be able to highlight the other components of your practice and why it's so special?
Sure. We are very much a concierge practice. We want to make sure that our patients are treated as well as we would want our family members to be treated. So when someone walks through the door, I treat them the way I would treat my brother, my father, my sister. That's the kind of feeling that I want them to get when they come in, that they're going to get the best care, the most comprehensive recommendations. When they come in, they're usually coming in for a couple of different things. We do have some specialty services. One is our tinnitus management. Another one is our auditory processing disorder evaluation and treatment. So we're definitely known in this area and beyond. We've got a great map on the wall of where all of our patients come from for auditory processing treatment and evaluation. And that is basically, if you're not aware of what that is, it's how the brain hears. So the ears collect, the brain connects. It's how your brain listens and working with finding out, are there weakness in areas there that we can improve? And if so, what are the treatment plans for that?
I love it. How can patients get in touch with you? If someone would like to book a consultation or reach out to your clinic, how can they find you guys?
Uh, Absolutely. They can find us on our website. They can call us at 704-412-7975. They can reach out via email. Maybe we can just pop that up in a description there or pop it up on the screen. But yeah, we're always happy to do a 15-minute complimentary phone consultation to see if we're the right fit or even just answer a question or two.
Well, guys, please connect with Dr. Melissa Karp and her team in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we're all now part of the Treble Health team. So it's really exciting. And yeah, Dr. Melissa, I just really want to acknowledge that you trusted what we're doing here and you said, yes, let's work together. And I do believe that when we work together, we'll be able to help more people, reach more patients. There's a lot of people out there that struggle with tinnitus and hearing issues. So when we can combine forces, I believe we'll be able to reach more people and get them the right kind of help. So thank you so much. And on a personal level, so excited that we get to work more closely together.
Thank you for joining with us and bringing us on board.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.